It's the most wonderful time of the year. It is officially time to start our holiday cooking. Today, I am bringing you 4 recipes that are perfect for your holiday spread. You are going to love these. They're all part of family traditions that I've eaten over the years that I have veganized because I missed them so much, and I've made a little bit healthier along the way, but they're still delicious and perfect for the holidays. These recipes are simple, comforting, oil-free, and perfect for making your holiday table feel extra special. Let's jump right in. The first holiday recipe we are making today is one that is near and dear to my heart. I grew up eating breakfast casseroles every single Christmas morning as a child, and there are so many memories around this casserole, mainly about it not being done because it takes forever to cook. And I have veganized this casserole, and I eat this every single Christmas morning still. So I still have that nostalgic breakfast casserole every single Christmas, and I was so excited to veganize this, and I am very excited to share it with you because it's something I look forward to every single year. And I made it in a vegan, more health promoting way that still brings that nostalgia right back every single Christmas. To start this recipe, we're going to preheat our oven to 400 degrees and we're going to wilt our greens. Today I'm using spinach. I usually use spinach, but I have used kale in the past. Just chop it up nice and small if you're going to use kale because it is more chewy than baby spinach is. You can choose to wilt this on the stove. Today I'm going to just make it a step even easier and use my microwave steamer. So I'm going to just shove in 6 ounces of baby spinach into this steamer and I'm going to microwave it 2 minutes just to get it wilted. The next step is to prepare our other vegetables. So I'm using a red and green bell pepper to get in the holiday spirit and an onion. So I'm just going to dice these up nice and small and toss them into a large mixing bowl. We have our diced bell peppers and our onions in here. We're going to add in the spinach that we just wilted. And I'm just going to go in and give this a nice little chop with my kitchen shears so nobody's getting huge pieces of spinach as they're eating. We're just going to set this to the side and then make our egg mixture now. So grab your blender and into here we're going to have to add a block of extra firm silken tofu, nutritional yeast, chickpea flour, black salt for that eggy flavor, otherwise known as kala namak, garlic powder, turmeric, black pepper, and water. And then we blend that all up until it's smooth and creamy. Now we just add our egg mixture to our bowl with our veggies. Use a spatula to make sure you get all the little bits out of your blender. You don't want to leave any of that behind. And we're going to mix this all together really well. The traditional breakfast casseroles use tater tots, which have a lot of oil in them. We are using shredded potatoes instead to make this a little bit healthier, but you have to keep in mind there's no oil, so it could potentially stick to your dish that you're using. So you are going to have to choose either to liberally spray this with nonstick spray, which would make it not oil-free, or I prefer to use parchment, and I'm just going to line my dish with parchment paper. Not only does it keep it completely oil-free, but it also makes cleanup so much easier. I have a 30-ounce bag of these potatoes. I'm going to use about 2/3 to 3/4 of this and just put it on the bottom of this dish. We're reserving the rest of it to go on top at the very end, and then we're going to put our veggie egg mixture right over the top of this. Obviously, we don't want to leave it clumpy like this. We want to smooth it out, bring it all to the edges, spread out that mixture really well. And then after we have this spread really nice and even over the top, we're just going to sprinkle the rest of the potatoes over the top of the dish. The top layer of potatoes get nice and browned and crispy and add such a nice little crunch to this casserole. So now all we have to do is bake it. This takes a long time to bake. It takes 45 minutes covered. So I'm going to put foil over this and pop it in the oven for 45 minutes. Then the foil comes off and it bakes for another 40 to 50 minutes. You want to make sure that the egg part is set. If you stick a knife in the middle, you don't want it to be soft and jiggly. You want it to feel semi-firm. Once those potatoes are golden on the top and that texture of the egg is nice and firm, then this is done. Since it takes so long to bake, I like to make this a day in advance. We've had so many Christmas mornings growing up where our breakfast casserole was not cooked and we were hungry and waiting for it to be finished, which is honestly a core memory, but I try to prevent that from happening. So now I make it the day before so that all I have to do is just warm it up and it's ready to go on Christmas morning. This recipe makes about 6 servings. However, I think it's more around 4 because I like to eat a lot of food and it's pretty healthy, so I don't mind eating a huge portion of this. I like to top mine with a little bit of ketchup, maybe some hot sauce if I'm feeling that, and just dig in. It's a well-rounded, complete meal. You have your built-in starches, your veggies, and your protein all in one dish. The perfect way to start off your holiday. Next up is a cranberry sauce that is an absolute showstopper. It tastes like a warm holiday hug thanks to the orange and the cinnamon in there, and it is so bright and cozy and a must-have for your holiday spread. We start off this super simple recipe by peeling 2 medium-sized apples. Then we dice up the apple into little pieces. They don't have to be perfect, but you do want them to be small. Everything's going to be going into the pot together, so as you prep, just add it right to the pot you'll be cooking in. After the apples are prepared, we're going to zest and juice half an orange. I often double this recipe because guests usually like to take some home, and so that way I'll use a whole orange and 2 bags of cranberries instead of 1. Next in the pot goes our washed cranberries. You can use fresh or frozen cranberries for this recipe. I like to buy them when they're on sale and pop them in my freezer so that they're ready to go whenever I want to make a batch of this. So we have our cranberries and our apples and our orange zest and juice in there, and now we're going to add some cinnamon. For our sweetener, you can use maple syrup, agave syrup, or date syrup. I like to use a blend of maple and agave usually. And the last addition is just a little bit of water. Now all that's left to do is to put this on the stove over medium heat. We're going to give this a good mix, bring it up to a simmer, and let it cook for about 15 to 20 minutes until the cranberries burst and it turns into a nice sauce texture. The cranberry sauce is going to have your house feeling so festive and smelling so good while it cooks. You're going to be so excited to eat it. Once it's thickened and completely cooked, you let it come to room temperature and you can enjoy it warm or cold. It will thicken more in the fridge and it is perfect to make ahead of time. You can make this 2 to 3 days before your holiday event, so it's one less thing for you to do on the holiday itself. And there is our cranberry sauce. Once this is completely cool, it will be ready to go in the fridge and to pull out on Christmas morning or Thanksgiving or whatever holiday you're eating this, or Tuesday, because this is delicious all year round. Next up is a classic veggie side dish. We're making some oil-free Brussels sprouts with a little holiday twist. These sprouts get perfectly crispy without a single drop of oil, and they bring so much bright, festive flavors to your holiday table. We start off this recipe by cleaning and halving or quartering our Brussels sprouts depending on their size. If your Brussels sprouts are really big, cut them into quarters. Now we have a little over a pound of washed and cleaned Brussels sprouts ready to go. We're just going to season them right in this bowl and give them a good toss. So first we add in some onion powder and garlic powder, a tablespoon of tamari or soy sauce, and a tablespoon of maple syrup or date syrup works too. For a bit more festive flavor, we're adding some dried rosemary in there. We give this a good mix. After they're mixed really well, we just toss them out onto a parchment-lined baking sheet. It doesn't really matter the direction they're laying, but I do like to start them face down personally because it helps them get extra crispy on that flat edge. And just make sure they're not piled up on top of each other. You want them to be spread out. We are going to bake these in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 30 to 40 minutes. I'm going to put these on the bottom rack of my oven because my personal oven, things brown better down there, and I want these to be extra crispy, so I'm putting them on that bottom shelf. You can enjoy the sprouts just like that, or you can take the festivities up a level and add in some chopped pecans and some dried cranberries in the last 2 to 3 minutes of baking just to get these toasted and mix it up in there to make them feel extra festive. The Brussels sprouts look like they are nice and soft on the inside and nice and browned on the outside. So I'm going to toss over the pecans just to get these nice and toasted. And our Brussels sprouts are finished and festive. I topped them with a little bit of dried cranberries for an extra little punch of sweetness in there, and these are so delicious. Honestly, I could eat this whole bowl by myself. So if you're making for a crowd, make sure you triple it or quadruple it, but you're going to want a lot of these, I'm sure. If you want to make them extra special, Right before serving, I would recommend sprinkling a little bit of flaky sea salt over the top, maybe a very light drizzle of maple syrup to just brighten this dish and make it feel extra special and festive. Final recipe for our holiday recipe collection today is one that is a favorite for everybody, and that is macaroni and cheese. The macaroni and cheese that we're making today is a much healthier version, though it still feels cozy and warm, and it's definitely bringing the main character energy here. You can eat it as a main dish or a side dish for your holidays. Either way, it's going to be a fan favorite, and nobody's going to be able to tell that there's no oil or dairy in there. The first step is to get our pasta cooked. Today I'm using shells. You can use any variety of pasta that you like, although I don't know how some gluten-free pastas would work for a baked macaroni and cheese like this recipe. They might get soggy, so use what you know and what you love. Whole wheat pasta also works really well for this. Today I'm just using regular old shells. So I've got water on the stove boiling. I'm gonna cook this just under what it's recommending. So this one's 10 to 12 minutes. I'm gonna cook this for 8 to 9 because I want it to be slightly undercooked since it's going to go in the oven. While that pasta is cooking, we have all of the ingredients we need to make our sauce. So we're gonna toss everything into a blender and blend it up so that it's extra smooth and creamy. Start your sauce with a cup of pre-baked potato. You can peel this if you want. I do not want. I usually use silken tofu for a creamy base of this, but I'm out of it, and today I'm going to use white beans instead. You can use any variety of white beans. I happen to have butter beans already cooked in my fridge, so that's what I'm using. Next up is nutritional yeast, super cheesy flavor, onion powder, garlic, apple cider vinegar, pepper, paprika, mustard powder, turmeric for color, miso, and last up is water. Now before you mix your pasta and your sauce together, you're gonna wanna give this a taste and add some salt because you want this to be a salty sauce for this cheesy dish. It's a little bit more indulgent feeling, even though it includes whole food ingredients. This is a treat food in my opinion. We're gonna put a nice breadcrumb topping on top, and you want the sauce to be salty enough to really bring out that cheesy flavor, and the pasta really mutes the salt in the sauce, so you wanna make sure you over salt just a little bit. Next, we're gonna mix up our breadcrumb topping. I'm using panko. If you can find whole wheat panko, that's my preferred panko to use for this. I just can't find any right now, so I'm using plain old original panko, and we're gonna season this up. We're gonna do a half a cup of panko, and we're gonna season this with a little bit of garlic and onion powder, nutritional yeast, and smoked paprika, and salt. And then we just give that a little mix so everything's mixed together pretty well. And set that to the side. To get our macaroni and cheese in the oven, so I have a deep casserole dish that I'm gonna use today. I have made this with a 9x12, like classic casserole size dish. It does work for that, but I would like it to be like nice and gooey and deep, so we're using this one today. So first we're adding in our drained pasta into that dish and our sauce. The potato in this sauce is what's gonna give us that really silky, creamy texture. And we're gonna mix this really well because obviously we want all of our noodles to be coated. This is gonna look pretty saucy right now, and that's what you want because that pasta is gonna keep cooking in the oven and it's gonna absorb some of this sauce, and we don't want a dry macaroni and cheese at the end. We're also adding in a bit of the reserved pasta water to help this thicken and to be extra creamy and cheesy. Then all that's left is sprinkling on that breadcrumb topping and make sure it covers it all the way to the edges. This is gonna go in the oven at 375 for about 20 to 25 minutes until the top is all nice and browned. The baked macaroni and cheese is out of the oven and ready to dig in, and I'm so excited to eat this. It's gonna be so good and delicious. Just a note, if you want to make this ahead, you can. Do everything up to the point where we add the breadcrumbs on the top. So mix your pasta with the sauce and store it in the casserole dish in the fridge until you're ready to bake it. Before you bake it, take it out, let it come to room temperature, top it with the breadcrumbs, and pop it in the oven, and you're ready to go. I hope you really enjoy this recipe. This is one That is such a comfort food. You can even jazz it up even extra if you want to add veggies in there. Baby spinach or peas are a great addition to put in there, but I like to leave it like this and eat my veggies on the side. Oh yeah, you got that crunch on the top with the breadcrumbs. Oh, it's cheesy. That looks so good. I've been eyeing this crispy noodle on the top. It's been so hard to not just grab it off and eat it. So good. All right, time to taste my little mini Christmas dinner. I'm so excited. It's been so hard to not just pick at everything. Let's start with a Brussels sprout. I love the rosemary on there. It's like the perfect level of doneness and crispness. I like it because it's soft on the inside, but it still has a little bit of a bite. I'm gonna scoop up, if I can, scoop up a little cranberry sauce with it for a little sweet hit. That's the move. The cranberry sauce. That's honestly like a dessert on my dinner plate. I love it so much. It's so good. It's just the right amount of tartness. I don't like my cranberry sauces to be overly sweet. I still like to taste the cranberry. That's the perfect sweetness. All right, let's try this macaroni and cheese. Oh, it smells so good. Ooh, that's so good. So good. I was really excited to have an excuse to make these before Christmas because now I get to have Christmas dinner twice. I hope these healthier vegan holiday dishes bring you some comfort and joy this season. Let me know in the comments which one you are excited to enjoy and if any of them actually make it to your holiday table. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel and share this video with somebody that you know that is trying to eat healthier this holiday season but still wants to eat good food. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Happy holidays!